Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to the show with no name. Hobby Day, Dualcast Day. Could be a number of different things. It's 8 o'clock. It's time for a little hangout and cav. Seems like the right sort of thing to do on a Monday. A nice quiet little Monday. We'll just wait a few minutes for people to show up here. See what's going on. And then we will get going with our little bit of a cav show here, hopefully. Something related to cav. There might be some sort of a special first chance to see something today. I don't know what that might be. Could be a thing about casting. Could be something... Two kinds of dual kinds of casting. I don't know. I'm not much of a magician. I don't normally cast spells. So here we are. So yeah, today is Dualcast Day. At least hello Leveling. Colonel Kane's watching with no sound. Well, that's okay. Better to, I guess, come here and look than not come at all. I appreciate the support. Thanks for showing up. So yeah, today is the day that John, Cab Boss, told us that we would confirmed for sure that we were going to be getting the new casting process. I think that what that means is he's dotted the T's and cross the I's, or vice versa, however that really works. And that he's committed to going forward 100% with the new process so that we can begin to, as customers, receive models in a much more timely fashion made out of the new material. Speaking of the new material, here we have some examples of some packaging that might look like ordinary cav packs that you could order from Talon Games or hopefully pick up from some sort of local friendly retailer. But these are different. These are dual cast packages. They got the new material in them. Is really what that boils down to. And so John sent a few of these out to as I don't know, demos, promos, whatever you want to call it, for people to take a look at. And I got them in time to use in tonight's show, so I thought what we'd do is take a left-hand turn. My intention, and we still may get to this, my intention was to work a little bit more on this this anti-cav gun that we painted on a little bit in the last stream. Come in and do some... Grab a brush here. I thought we'd come in... Eventually we're going to come in and paint like black outlines around these triangular bits of camo pattern to try and draw them out. We might end up adding a few more of them too. Then, of course, we've got, black and metal and things like that to paint on here. Something to bring the guns out. Probably some kind of a orangey brown thing to bring this down. Anyway, so we may get a chance to work on that. If not, we'll save that till next week. John was kind enough to get me some infantry that I intend to deploy along with, I don't know if you can see those. I need to get a better camera, but that'll have to wait for a little while. Anyway, that I might decide to put the infantry here on the thing, sort of like they're the gunners or the escorts or however that might end up working. Haven't made up my mind yet. Might just instead give them a whole stand to accompany the anti-cav gun. Remember, Mom, be the middle one, please. Mom, be the middle one, please. I'm not quite sure what that means, Colonel Kane. Feel free to explain that one to me. I'm sorry, my mind, I'm just full of all the funny things that could possibly mean. Are you playing bingo? But yeah, so we've got, I believe this is a Despot, and then we've got the Seki 2, and then we've got the Cobra. And we're going to pop those open here in a few minutes. Like I said, we just give people a little bit of time to show up maybe. And then we're going to compare them, because I happen to have the resin Tuseki here. Yeah, Gunner Fox. Just a quick clarification now. This anti-cav gun is completely unofficial. When I was up visiting John last month, we were watching some YouTube videos about TO&E for Russian World War II forces, and they had a lot of anti-cav guns, or excuse me, anti-tank guns. And it occurred to me that cav doesn't have any anti-tank slash cav guns, so I decided to make one. Grabbed some bits and threw this thing together out of parts of an armadillo and the gun off the top of a grizzly, and I'm going to make up some rules. And I'll be honest with you, John seemed like he was open to maybe including something like that in the context of the game in the future officially. Like I said, this is strictly unofficial. This is just kit bashing. This show is all about people getting together and hanging out. This is paint day. This is people that would, if we all lived near each other and there wasn't this stupid COVID thing going on, I'd like to imagine once a month, a couple of times a month, a bunch of us would gather together and pop open some models and talk about, our scheme and our painting ideas and how we're going to put our stuff together. So yeah, that's what this show is all about. Just people hanging out, having a good time. I'm going to show you the little bit of few things I know about painting. No claims to fame here. Go follow James Wapple if you want to learn how to paint for real. Kenny Boucher, Soshi's Miniatures. Gosh, I always want to promote everybody. There are a ton of really good painters. Clever Crow is awesome. You can, my God, I'm going to make a list. I promise myself I'm just going to have a list, and next time I'm just going to put the list up here, and I'm just going to read off all the fantastic painters that I know. But I didn't do that, so I'm sorry. I'm not brilliant. All right, yeah, Paint Day is one of my favorite things in the world. I love getting together and hanging out with my friends and painting. All right, so this is these packages, if I understand this correctly, are samples from the company that John has purchased this new piece of equipment from. They ran some samples for him and packaged them up, or maybe he packaged them up. I'm not sure who actually did the packaging, but the models are definitely from the exact same process that John is going to have moving forward. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take some models that John has already produced. Like here's the Tuseki from the resin Tuseki from the Kickstarter kit. I know it's hard here. Let me just take it out of the package. I'm going to stop being dumb. No, let me rephrase that. I'm going to continue being dumb. I'm just going to be dumb about other things. Not this thing anymore. All right. Get rid of that shiny bag. All right. So in the last Kickstarter, one of the things that you could do was you could buy resin aircraft. Okay. So here's the front half of a Tuseki 2, I believe. Of course, here are the rear bits. This is exactly the way it came after the Kickstarter, right out of the resin printer, I gather. And now here is the exact same model produced with the new dual cast process. And we're going to pop this open in just a second, and we're going to compare these things side by side. Now, and then we're going to do the same thing with the Cobra and the Despot, which I happen to have samples of here as well. So I guess that being said, let's move the painting project to the back shelf for now. Get those out of the way. And let's open something up. So I think the best example I have here is probably this Tuseki 2. The only Despot I have is one that John 3D printed for me, and I've got a Cobra that we were all able to get our hands on during the CavCon sale. You know, if you made a purchase during that time period, you could get a Spatha and a Cobra as part of your as a reward for making a purchase. And so I've got those to compare the new dual cast minis to. By the way, I believe John posted on the Facebook that there's going to be the first ever Black Friday sale. I don't remember the exact details to it, so definitely go to your Facebook, go to the Cav Strike Operations group. There's probably something on the Talon Games website as well for you to have a look and see what the details of that are. I'm pretty sure there was something like 20% off for your orders, plus, I don't know, you might be getting randomly in your package one of these models. I believe is what he said, for every so much spent. I'm not going to name a number because I don't want to be wrong, and I don't have it in front of me. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that during that sale, you'll get a discount and a free gift. And if that's wrong, then Gunner Fox will give you a free gift, probably. I'm guessing. He seems like a pretty nice person. She could be. I don't know. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that Gunner's probably a fella. But I don't know. Could be wrong. I've been wrong before. All right. So let's stop all that nonsense. Let's crack this open. So here we have the Toseki 2. Beautifully packaged. Stick the knife in it. Cut my finger off, which would be very, very bad for me. I'm all out of extras. All right, there goes the plastic. Here comes the model. Nice little flight stand that we've all seen before. Very effective. Goodbye packaging. Cthulhu says it's 20% off the store. Yeah, and like I said, I'm pretty sure that there's a discount based on how much you... not a discount, a free model based on how much you spend, if I remember reading that right. All right, so first things first, I notice right off the bat. Already, I am without even comparing the detail, I'm super happy with the amount of work I have to do. I don't have to take off all of these resin bibs and bobs. I mean, it's not terrible, but I don't want to have to mess with that. I mean, I'm super happy to have gotten this model, and I'm certainly going to put them together and paint them. There's no doubt about that. I'm not mad about it. I'm just like, this is not... I prefer this delivery, the cleanliness of this, to the, like sort of old-fashioned hobby style of doing things here. But let me pop this loose and... Spend $40 to get a dual cast mini. Yeah, absolutely. That's what I thought it was. I didn't have it open in front of me, and I didn't memorize it, so I didn't want to misquote and tell everybody that John was giving away free kittens with every purchase or anything like that. Oh, look, resin. It will shoot across the table from you without a doubt. All right, so there we got that bit. Let's pop this piece loose right here. So, check this out. Gotta get in there and get this last little... Oh, wait a minute. Do I need to take that tab off, or is that tab... Oh, look, I almost cut off the insert. I'm bad about that. I almost... This little bit right here. This... Of course, you all know this because you're all advanced modelers. This little bit goes in there. Oh, I almost cut it off. I am so bad about that. The number of times I've had to remake a peg or a pin, something that shouldn't have needed to be pinned, is legion. All right, snap off these ports real quick. All right. So now we've got the resin Toseki and the dual cast Toseki side by side by side, and there's definitely some differences in the way the model is. Hold on, let me slide these up here, make sure I'm actually in screen. That's what I kind of have the circle here for. Make sure we can see all these. All right. So as you can see, the model is disassembled differently. I mean, from the resin, they did the joint right here at the back of the model. Of course, I haven't cleaned this up yet, so that goes there, and then of course the engines sit in here like that. So there's just a little bit of structural differences there in the way the model's assembled. Here with the dual cast, instead what you get is you get these smooth surfaces with the cutout there for this to fit into. So that just pops right into there. Oh my gosh. Did you see that? It literally pops right in. I mean, look. I can't knock it out. It's literally in there tight as tight can be. Look at that. I mean, that is a fantastic fit. You just squish that in there. I mean, you could, if you chose to, you could not glue that at all. I mean, it takes quite a bit of force for me to pop that out of there. I'm loving that. And then, of course, then the model, the engine nacelles attached. They're not, if I got them on there backwards, nope, no, they're on the right. So they don't fit quite as tight as that wing piece. Definitely have to glue those in. Not that we weren't going to glue them all in anyway, but I mean, so that's literally a 3-piece assembly. This is also a 3-piece assembly, but again, I don't have to clean up the sprue tips. Like here on the back of this thing, I've got to shave that off and make it fit. I mean, that thing right out of the package. And John literally received, oh yeah, what does it feel like? Plastic or rubbery? All right, so let's, I don't know if you can see, I'm deflecting that wing right there. It's very stiff. It's got a little bit of flex to it, not rubbery feeling at all. I mean, the texture, when I rub it with my fingers, it feels resiny to me. Well, let's just compare them. I literally have one right here. So I'm rubbing these two with my fingers, and they are incredibly similar. The resin feels just a tiny little bit harder. So this dual cast material feels to me like it has just a little bit of a plasticky feel to it, a little bit of maybe more deflection. I don't know if you can see the movement there in that wing. Whereas with this thing, it's very stiff, and I'd be afraid. I mean, if I torque this very much, it's clearly going to snap. You could just kind of feel the brittleness of the resin. Still a wonderful product, but I mean, there's definitely just a little bit of give there. And like I said, when I rub it, it feels a lot like the resin. Just like you can kind of feel the surface has got just a little more bite to it. As I slide my finger across it, I can feel there's just a little bit more friction than you get here. Like the resin has got a tighter, more closed surface. How are the mold lines? Well, I mean, I'm looking at it right here. It's a great question. I mean, I'm not seeing a ton of mold lines here. Again, I apologize that I don't have a better camera for you. But, I mean, there is a little bit of a mold line right here. Let's see if we can get this out here. I mean, they're trying to get this to the point where you can actually see it. I'm not sure you're going to be able to. This camera is not the best. Well, you just have to take my word for it. There is a little bit of a mold line right down the length right here, but it's not anything. Let's try and clean it up real quick. Let's see if I can get this focus to work just a little bit better. We were trying to look at a model here. Let me try and adjust this camera. That's not what I meant to do. There we go. Bring this up. Pardon me while I am working off camera to try and adjust the focus. All right. See if that's going to do us any good. Now, this camera's just not, it's just not good enough to really show all the details that we need to show. I mean, from down here, maybe I can just zoom. Pardon me again. Professional stream here. Let me get back with my producing crew and see if they can help me with this. There is no such animal. One more time. See if we can just, maybe zooming in will help. Say done. All right. Yeah, I'm just not going to be able to actually show you the mold lines, but there is a mold line that runs like down the length of the body right here where the tip of my knife is, but it's minimal. I mean, it's easy to clean up. Yeah, I'm cleaning up right now. The material cuts kind of like it has a little bit of a rubbery feel. Wait, a VTL space A10? Yeah, so Smitty Jensen of the North. This is, so I'm not familiar, I'm not sure if you're familiar with our our model here. This is a Taseki 2. It is an attack aircraft from the game Cav Strike Operations. Pardon me. And it is effectively a futuristic A-10. It's not, I don't believe it's a space vehicle. I'm pretty sure it's an aircraft, but yeah, its job is to shoot giant robots and make them go explodey. Will spray primer work on it? Cthulhu, I've not had the opportunity to try and primer these things with like rattle can primer. I don't actually have any handy, but I promise you I will. Hi, Tiger Wraith. I promise you I will make myself a note. Hold on a second. Let me make myself a note. Let me get a pen that is much more likely to work. Right there. Pardon me while the host struggles to find things. All right. So we're going to mark this right here. We're going to say number 1. We're going to test spray primer. Okay. So some of the other fellows that have gotten some of these may get a chance to do that before my next show. If you might want to check the Facebook groups or the Discord. But I will definitely make a point of priming one of these with a rattle can, and if it dissolves, I will let you know. I don't think it will, though. I think it'll be okay. Gunner Fox says they're a little pronounced on the engine pods, but it seems to be fairly easy to clean off. Gunner, do you have some of these models? Can I assume that from what you said? Because I don't think you can see that from my camera. Smitty. He's been sitting on a small Malvernus force in the book for roughly 10 months. Got it and got my mate to buy a force right before everything shut down. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. I've been wanting to play this game like extensively, and I have played a fair amount before the COVID thing, but absolutely am disappointed with the amount of games that I've gotten in. I'm excited to hear about your Malvernus force. I love Malvernus. Yeah, oh yes, Minnie. We all need all the mech games. Or rather, we all just need Cav, and we need all the Cav models. Smitty, you're in Oklahoma? Oh, Gunner, Fox, Guns. Yeah, okay, I get it, Guns. Cool. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not very good here with Twitch names, so I know some of these people. Did they come with extra sprue? Tiger Wraith, so you meaning like some stuff, like I cut off the resin thing? Is that what you mean there, Tiger Wraith? Also, Smitty, have we ever met? Because I'm in Oklahoma right now, and if we haven't met and you want to play this game, we should hook up somehow, some way. I love Cav, and I like playing the game. Oh yeah, I forgot I zoomed in. So Tiger Wraith, my package didn't come with any extra anything. There's literally, out of the Tuseki box is this stuff right here. This is all that was in the Tuseki package. We just opened that up just a second ago. So no, there was no sprue, nothing like that at all. No extra bits. The resin bit I showed you was I took apart my Kickstarter resin just to sample the, to show the differences, and that's what was on there. Yeah, Guns. I guess so. Been to so Smitty, I have been there. It's been a long time, but I know where it is. I basically live in Tulsa. Yeah, Tiger, that's a great idea. If there was some sprue, I would absolutely not, take a chance on ruining one of my models. But that being said, I mean, all of these will be available pretty soon. And if I spray some primer on one of them and it melts, A, I'll know and I'll be able to share that with everybody. And B, I'll just buy another one. Oh, really, Smitty? That's awesome. Yeah, listen, when COVID clears up, let's find a way to hook up somewhere and play the game, talk, hang out, paint day, whatever you want to do. Yeah, there's a nice little community here. There are a couple of people or at least one person in chat who lives pretty close to me. And here in Tulsa, there's probably 5 or 6 players that, again, before COVID, we were playing reasonably often. I mean, like several times a year, once a month for some of us, maybe a little bit more often. Gunner, you just got to proselytize more. You got to get out there and preach to those. Get those people off the beach and to the gaming table. All right. So in terms of quality, so let's just, again, I apologize I don't have a better camera. So I'm not going to bother chasing focus that doesn't exist. I'll just tell you what I see. I'm looking at these models, and other than the way that they're cut up, I see literally no difference in the high dollar resin model and the dual cast model. Now, again, I can't speak for John. I don't know what the cost of these things are going to be, these dual cast models. I'm assuming they're going to be comparable to existing models. So this Tuseki 2, I'm just going to guess, is a $6, $7, $8 model, something like that. Whereas this resin piece from the Kickstarter, I think these things were 15 or 20 bucks a piece. Just the lower volume and the fact that they're resin models, I guess, raise the costs. So this is I'm ecstatic to see these. I mean, aircraft can be everywhere. I am not, Smitty. I literally live in Broken Arrow. If you know where Broken Arrow, Oklahoma is, that's where I live. Tiger Race, same pricing. Yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, I mean, I can't remember the exact price of a Tuseki, but no, wait a minute, Tiger Race. Let's make sure I understand. Did he say that this Tuseki would cost the same as the resin Tuseki? Okay, sorry, Smitty. If you type, as you're answering people's questions, if you type @ and start to say their name, Twitter will fill their name out for you. Just click on it, and then it can go directed towards you. All right, so that's the Tuseki 2 model. All right, let's move these babies off to the background. So we got the Despot, and we got the Cobra, or the other two models that we have to examine today. Let me see what's going on over here, because this is clearly not working. All right. Get some desktop audio going on here. All right. So I think the next one I'm going to pop open is going to be $4.99. $4.99. Thank you, Tiger Race. I mean, is that incredible? I mean, Smitty, I don't know if you're still hanging out here, but look at this. This is a $5 A10, fantastic detail, Space A10, killer of mechs. If any of you remember the War Master tournament, you'll know that these things can be deadly in the right circumstances. $5. My gosh, that is very, very affordable by other miniature company standards. Freaking awesome. Yeah, so the resin ones were 25. I think Gunner's saying that the resin ones were 25 at the Kickstarter. So, all right, let's pop open this Despot. Is it a Despot 2? I'm not sure. Yeah, me too, Smitty. Me too. I will go to extremes to try and get a model that just I find incredibly sexy, but I would rather not. I don't like selling kidneys and livers or whatever it is they're taking this week just to get my models. All right. Here we are with dual cast day. So now this is Despot B, I think. Yeah, Tiger Wraith, I love it when you're part of the Twitch streams. You always have all the answers. So, now this model, I didn't have a traditional package bought version of the Despot, but I have a 3D printed one that John did that he sent back with me once when I visited him. So I guess we can compare these two together. Obviously, they're going to be the same size. I'm pretty sure they're made from the same. Let's pop this turret off. They're made from the same. They're made from the same STL file or however they do it. Looks like the 3D print and the dual cast model are very, very similar. They have exactly the same layout, exactly the same amount of detail. I mean, again, I apologize you can't really make it out, but I can see inside of these road wheels here a couple of concentric rings to represent like the inner gears and the outer gears, or wheels rather, and I can see the exact same thing in the dual cast. So the detail is definitely there. I was noticing this earlier when I looked through the package. There is a mold line, at least I think it's a mold line. Let me check. Yeah, the 3D printed one does not have this one. So there's a little bit of a mold line right here that you're going to need to clean up on this despot model. It runs just like you would expect all the way across the model. It's not too bad. It seems to be exactly in line with the top of this structural piece right here, so it's not hard to hide. It goes across this circle and that circle. It's probably going to be the hardest place to clean up, but I mean, it's a niggling point, and if you're a gamer, if you're a hobbyist, then you already know how to take care of those trivial mold lines. That's not going to be a problem. Pop this guy together. See what he does. Oh, look at this. No, I guess just to be certain, it's clearly keyed, right? I mean, you cannot possibly. So this the other track for the other side has two spots, two protuberances. This one only has one slot. This side has two. John thinks of everything. John or Chris, whoever it is that's doing this. Now, it looks to me like it's going to need a little. These are not popping in right away. I'm going to have to trim these up just a little bit to get those to go in. Let's cut this off here. Now, this one, when you cut into it, it's got just a little tiny bit of that rubbery feel that you might experience in the earlier, from the earlier calves. I mean, not a ton, not anything like the Kickstarter 1 models. Yeah, Tiger Wraith is accurate there, Smitty. Tanks can be completely effective in this game. Actually can be kind of a menace. It is a cav-centric game, so I would say, if you were going to build an all-tank force versus an all-cav force and everybody was trying to win to the best of their ability, I would probably put my money on the all-cav force. But it's not really meant to be that. It's meant to be a combined arms game. I mean, this is a game where you're going to, like, a really effective force is probably going to have some tanks, some calves, some aircraft. But no, the biggest, baddest models in this game are the calves. I mean, there's certainly no tank that's the equivalent of the Emperor or the Revenant or the really gigantic, super heavy calves. But that doesn't mean that there aren't some killer tanks. You could very much play tanks in this game. In fact, in the spring, I'm not sure the exact date yet, John is going to have, Cav Boss is going to have a virtual CavCon. And it's my intention to go up there and probably play John. I don't know exactly what all the details are, but hopefully I'll be able to get in a game against John. And I am strongly considering taking an all-tank force just to be weird and try it out. So that kind of fits into your question there. Tune in for the Twitch stream of that. I'm sure John and I will stream our game. So I can clean these up while I'm chit-chatting without cutting off the end of my finger. Just take a little bit off the end of each piece to see if I can get these into that side bit. I'll actually go ahead and glue this one together if I can. Seems like maybe the peg is a little too tall for the hole as well. To trim off just a little bit from the top edge of it. It cuts really well with a sharp X-Acto, no problem at all. But and it's definitely, it's got a little spongy, just a tiny little bit of a spongy feel to it when you go to cut into it. So it's very forgiving. It's not going to snap. And I bet you, but sometimes when I've been trying to trim up like a resin model, sometimes the resin will just pop and fly apart. Sometimes it'll even crack the part that I'm working on. This doesn't have that feel to it. I don't think this would do that. Again, just clean up this peg just a little bit. There we go. It's getting there. Sorry, I'm not a very accomplished Twitch streamer. Only started doing this like a few weeks ago so that I could help generate more Cav content, because that's what we need. I mean, like Smitty here, here's a guy, I mean, literally just a few, half an hour or so, or maybe an hour's drive away from me that is ready to play. I'm like, crap, I need to hook up with this person. I need to get in some games. I hear Bartlesville's got a pretty good little game store. I've never been to it, but I hear they're pretty active. I'm not sure the name of it. Does anybody out there know the name? All right. I think that'll work. No, see, Tiger Wraith, I was talking about that earlier. You can't really reverse the sides. I don't know if you can make it out. They have different pegs. One has got one long single peg, and this one's got two short pegs. I mean, they clearly have to go where they go. Unless I'm just a complete, rube, which I could be. All right. Paper games. Okay, yeah, paper games. Like I said, I've never had the chance to get out there, but I mean, I would love to go out there if it meant getting a chance to play some cav. Let me grab some glue here. Move this guy out of the way. Slap some glue on this fella. Just put a dab here. Dab here. A bit. Just a little bit there. And we'll do the same thing over here. That's probably too much. Grab a little bit of a paper towel and take some of that excess off there. The lid back on. Nice, Schmitty. Nice. They have open spaces where we could get together maybe and play a cav game. I mean, they have pretty good sized tables. Oh, Smitty. I mean, I don't really play that game anymore, but I own so many Talon models. It would, you could like murder people with them. Grind them up, put them in their food, and get rid of like a whole bunch of people if that was really your thing. Not that that's my thing. I'm not saying that's the thing, but I have a lot of Talon models. All right, great. Just trimming off a few little bits of mold line just to, again, get a feel for this. I'm not going to try and clean this whole model up today. Not on stream, rather. I just, like I said, as I'm cutting it, it feels a lot like the Kickstarter 3 plastic. It's got just a little bit of give, a little bit of softness to it as it cuts. But it's not especially rubbery feeling. Not at all. All right. Check out the fit there. There goes my... Let's check the bottom of that. So flatten that out just a tiny little bit. So we talked a little bit about the Black Friday sale that's going to happen. So what exactly does dual cast mean? So dual cast is John's again, I'm just speaking for myself. This is not official or anything, but it's John's name for the new material that's being used here. So in the past, when Talon Games made plastic models, plastic Talon Games model. Here, I've got one up here. All right. So here's a Malvernus pillager that I've been working on. I don't know if you can see this. So this is a model from Kickstarter 3. So this model was produced in China as part of your fairly standard Kickstarter process, and then sent over to John for John to distribute to his customers. It's made of sort of it's kind of a similar plastic. It's a little more rubbery feeling to me. They're super high quality models, but So this process is basically requires, communicating, working with the production companies in China, all the shipping involved in getting things back from China, that sort of thing. The new process, this dual cast process, is completely different in that the manufacturing process is going to happen at Talon Games HQ. The machines are coming to Talon Games HQ. He's going to produce the models physically there, and so when you and I order this Tuseki, it's going to come out of a machine in John's building, instead of having to go from your request to John, from John to China. China makes it, China ships it back to John, John ships it to you. So yeah, so that's a great point, Tiger Wraith. So the material that this pillager is made out of is what Reaper calls bones black. So if you're familiar with any of their products, it's the same thing. If you don't happen to have a model from Kickstarter 3 to kind of get a feel for what I'm talking about here, a bones black model is made from the same material. But so the big deal here is essentially the turnaround time and cutting China out of the process. Just the communication barriers and the complexities of working with companies that are thousands and thousands of miles away, versus John being able to work with his sculptors, get an STL file from them, get it prepped for printing, get molds cut, and then go into production. It's going to be a world of difference. He's going to be able to produce models with a much shorter turnaround time. I don't want to put a number on it, because I don't want to speak for John, but a Kickstarter is 6 months typically to fulfill. I think he's going to be able to say, hey, I want to make the Tuseki 3, and it's going to have helicopter blades or something, and a month later he can have a model that he's ready to ship to somebody. And so what that's going to allow him to do is, instead of doing these once a year sort of Kickstarters where the customers, us fans, have to wait to get material from a Kickstarter, we're going to be able to get a monthly release schedule. So he'll be like, hey, May, we're going to release the Tuseki 5, and in June he's going to release the Tuseki 6 and the Tuseki 7, whereas in the past we've basically got new releases once a year, basically. That's freaking exciting for me. It's awesome. So let's get a little glue here so we can attach this. I don't know. Is it not? It's not a turret. I guess it's a weapon. This is a rocket, I'm assuming. I've never actually played the Despot, so I'm not 100% certain what its stats are. Here we go. We're going to conduct an experiment. All right. Since we don't really know how this new material works, I'm going to kickstart. I'm going to accelerate that super glue just to see if it reacts with the accelerant. Guess we'll know here really shortly. All right. So I sprayed some accelerant on there. Nothing appears to be melting. Yeah, that's a great way of summing it up, Tiger Wraith. So if you've got some Kickstarter 2 models, Tiger Wraith says the new dual cast material is it's got a little bit of that flexibility to it. I mean, that's what I was showing you earlier, right? I don't know if you can see the deflection in this wing here. So hold this wing up. See, so I'm bending this wing, and it's fairly stiff. I mean, it's not easy to bend, but it will bend. Whereas with this resin model, if I were to do the same thing, I would just snap it off. It would just break right there. So it's a very forgiving material in that respect, I think. All right, so let's slap that turret on there. And so now what we have, here we have a 3D resin printed Despot, and then here we have a dual cast Despot. And by the way, that accelerant doesn't seem to be doing anything evil to the material. It looks very durable. I mean, look at that barrel. So, I mean, one of the big foibles I think with the early Kickstarters and just the early Bones material in general, or whatever you want to call it, is that you would get these these long barrels like this, right? And they would have a little bend in them, or maybe a little droop. in the barrel, and you'd have to use the the hot water trick. You'd boil some water and dunk the model and reposition it, and you could straighten them up. Like 99% of them were fixable. But I mean, look at that right out of the package. A nice long barrel. I mean, it's straight as straight can be. Straight as straight can be. Here's a sculpting tool I happen to have, right? So if you just lay those right on top of each other, you see there is no deflection. That barrel is just as straight as that piece of metal. Yeah, the Wyverns are going to look fantastic on the table. They're going to look spectacular. Freaking awesome. All right, so now for the cav in the group, we've got the Cobra, which is a model that hasn't been released yet, but there was an opportunity back during the fall version of CavCon for you to pick up a Cobra as a bonus for making an order during the convention, kind of like what's going on during the Black Friday sale. But instead of being able to get your hands on the Cobra, just in case anybody's wandered in late, to summarize, here you won't be able to see this one very well. So here's a Cobra, primered. Here's a Cobra that I've painted. Maybe that's a better example. Here's a painted Cobra from my Almirathil force. The Citarine bad guys. I haven't come up with a name for them yet. And that's what this model is here that I've just cracked open. It's this model right here. John invited me up during last CavCon to play some games and help him host the CavCon. And as part of that, what he did is he 3D printed me some of these to include in my force because they were new back then, and we wanted to feature some of the new models. And so he sent me this one down, and it's a great model. It's 3D printed. It's not too shabby, but I'm telling you, and again, you probably can't make out the details here, but right across the back of this Cobra is this line, this sort of handlebar looking line that's a division in the armor, and it's and the rivets are all very well pronounced in this dual cast material. I mean, every individual rivet stands out like new money. And the ones that John 3D printed for me, I mean, it's all there, but it's not the same. So the precision in this dual cast process, the precision of the features on the model, I think is much noticeably better than the detail on John's 3D resin printers. And those are some very expensive, very nice printers. And so I am personally just blown away by the level of detail in this dual cast model. Where is my torso? There it is right there. Make sure I get this right. I believe this is the front. So stick these guys together just real quick if they will pop together. I think they will. Yeah, so the join here is it's not tight enough that it's gonna stand on its own. But yeah. So let's talk about the pluses of this new dual cast material right here. Like I said, I see more detail here than I do in John's 3D printed version of the Cobra. All the features are crisp, all the features are clean. There are mold lines as you would expect, but again, models and mold lines are synonymous. There's nothing extraordinary here. I don't see any mold slippage. There's a little tiny bit of flash right here in the crook of this elbow, just like you would get with any other, like a metal cast or anything like that. And then a tiny mold line, which you can stab yourself with an X-Acto. You can wipe away, just like that, all gone. And so, I mean, I think that these models are as good or better than the things we've gotten in the past, and the fact that the process is going to change so much is really just going to revolutionize the way that we receive CAV models. I mean, I think they're going to come off of Chris's computer. Chris Lewis is one of the primary sculptors. Sparks Murphy, is the handle for another one of the sculptors. He does fantastic work too. Sparks sculpted this Cossack, which is an upcoming grav tank, I believe for the Almirithal. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's an Almirithal grav tank. But what I was trying to say was that the ideas are going to come off of their minds, off their computers, and into our hands much quicker than they do currently. And that's a fantastic thing. All right, so I mean, I guess I can go ahead and assemble this guy. So everybody out there, what have you been working on? I mean, what sort of models are on your table? What kind of calves have caught your attention? I've been working on the Kodiak a little bit. I featured on the very first stream that I did here. I did a little work on it. The Kodiak is a big Almirithal mech, which he's right here. I haven't really touched him since then because I've been busy with all kinds of other things, but this is an upcoming 12 damage track model for the Almirithal, something to anchor their combat lines. Goes along with my bear and a whole bunch of other guys. Here's a King Cobra, just in case you haven't never seen the King Cobra. Some of us might be new here. There's again another upcoming model that John 3D printed for me at the beginning for the previous CavCon. A Baneblade. Yeah, all right. Wow, that's a so when you say Baneblade, Smitty, you mean like 40K Baneblade, 32 millimeter Baneblade? Was that what you're saying? Javelins. God, I have no idea how to say your name. Ilmirin? Sounds like I should say it in some sort of crazy D&D characterization voice. You're going to get back to work after the holidays. I get it. 40K 32 millimeter. Oh my God. That is a big boy. A big boy. You done with that beast? Does it come off the printer already? I mean, I love the look of that model. It's a I mean, it's a tank, right? Who doesn't love tanks? But God, the idea of printing a 32 millimeter Baneblade, that thing is, I mean, literally, it's got to be like, I don't know, it's gigantic. It's the size of a TV dinner, a big TV dinner. Yeah, all right, so that peg is a little bit too tall. I should have trimmed that down before I glued it. So the one little observation I can say, I like to try. I'm a very positive person, and when it comes to Cav, I am just ridiculously positive. There's very little about this game that I don't like, and so I always try and go out of my way to find something I can say that's at least a little bit contrarian. Otherwise, you know, like I just sound like a Ronco infomercial for Cav, which doesn't really offend me, but I should probably, you know, I should try and be realistic about it. And so far, the only thing I've noticed about these models is the pegs are not all perfectly keyed. They definitely took some cleaning up on that dust spot. And this torso peg right here is just a little bit too tall. Cry me a river. I know, James. Cry me a river. You have to actually work on a model before you could glue it together. What a concept. Just so you need a little bit more work on that Baneblade. I would, yeah. I'm curious to see it. Hopefully we get a chance when we get back together. We get a chance to get together when people start playing again. Maybe I can come out to Beeville and we can meet up and you can show me, or to play some Cav and you can show me your Baneblade. Yep, still just a little bit too tall, this peg here. Let's let the world watch me glue plastic shavings, dual cast shavings, I should say, not plastic, to my thumb, because that's exactly what's happening. Yeah, that's sale. Definitely, Smitty. I mean, especially Kickstarter 3. Kickstarter 3 had some great Malvernus models. I think you said earlier in the chat you were collecting Malvernus, right? There were some fantastic models. Like I said, this Pillager is a beast from the Malvernus range from Kickstarter 3. The rest of my Malvernus models are downstairs in the cabinet, but yeah, there's some good stuff there. Unless, of course, by full range you mean all the models, which, go for it, man. It's one of the few games where a regular guy or lady could realistically make the statement, I'm going to buy all the models from this range, and not be out like, new car money. No, don't put the torso on backwards, James. That will make you look bad in front of the people in your stream. That would be smart. Yeah, Smitty, you definitely need to get a copy of the rulebook, read through the little bit of stuff that's in there, and then if you have questions, there's a Facebook channel for Cav, a couple of them actually, but primarily Cav Strike Operations HQ is where a lot of us chit chat. There's also a Discord server, which if I were really good at this, I would have handy links ready, or an admin who could throw those links in the chat for you. Well, I guess I can do it. Pardon me, it's not like I'm doing anything particularly entertaining here. I will pop over and grab at least the Discord link for you. This is going to be interesting. I'm new at this. I am not particularly good at all of this stuff. So pardon me if I suck at multitasking and Twitch streaming. Here we go. See if I can throw this in the channel here. All right, so there's a link to the Discord server. So yeah, Smitty, to Ilmarin's comment. Actually, Ross Hines, one of the artists for Cav, one of the painters for Cav, and I used to run this big Stompy podcast that he's talking about, which is really mostly just Ross spewing forth with his mega knowledge and me sort of twisting the dials and making things happen. And I've still got those files. We had to stop doing that for health reasons for a little while. What I'll do is I'll find a place. Maybe I'll get John to host them somewhere. Maybe you can put them on Facebook. But I'll find a way to get those MP3s back up there. I think we did 12 or 13 episodes of the Big Stompy podcast. And actually, I hope to get a chance to bring it back in a different format. Maybe I think Ross and I are going to maybe get together and do it as just a sort of just like a chat Twitch stream where we can get together and talk about our experiences, gaming and playing and how to put stuff together. But yeah, the Big Stompy podcast was a lot of fun. It just, there were, it was complicated times. People have real lives, and sometimes the real lives get in the way. See, now that peg went in there almost perfectly. I like that a lot. See if I can get that back out of there. Put a little drop of glue right there. I'm really super happy with this material. It feels strong, but it's forgiving in that it will let you bend it a little bit. You can wiggle it. You can tweak it. I'd be curious to see maybe somebody like Tiger Wraith will get a chance to see if the hot water trick works on it. Not that I need it. I've not had anything that needed to be modified, but it'd be a good thing to know. Yeah, Tiger Wraith, I haven't had a chance to take a look at that. Maybe John, this is really John's Talon Games channel, not mine. So he may have set it up so you can't do that, or maybe you have to have permission, or You should probably talk to John about. You should probably talk to John about being an admin on the channel. Maybe that would solve that. Maybe. Again, sorry, I'm not a professional Twitch streamer. Get in there. Go, gadget arms. Get in there. Just a little further. There we go. I mean, you guys did see the Discord channel there, right? Let's see if I can go make a Facebook link. Maybe I can do it. I don't know. One way to find out. Let's come over here. Let's go there. Let's go there. Let's be very entertaining. Here's this. See if this will work. All right, so that should be the link to the Facebook Cav Strike Operations HQ group. You'll have to apply to get in there, but you'll get accepted. We accept pretty much everybody, unless you're, you know, like 1,000% a spam bot, and you don't look like a spam bot. At least I don't think you do. All right, so here we have the Cobra assembled. Very clean. There are a few mold lines I need to remove, but I didn't want to bore you with watching me remove mold lines. I'll get around to doing that here in my spare time. And again, it's the same exact model that John 3D printed for me. It's got a very, I mean, it's even better. This is the dual cast version of this model is superior to the 3D printed one that John gave me. And in the case of where we had the Tuseki, which was, you know, we have the resin print, which I believe was made by Trenchworks, and we have the dual cast version, which is made from the new process that John is gonna move all his production over to. I mean, the detail is identical. I mean, very, very minimal differences in the two of them. I mean, nothing that my paint quality is going to notice. They might as well just be the exact same, virtually the exact same model, despite the fact they're made in completely different ways. So I don't know about you, but I'm going to call dual cast freaking cool. It's going to maintain the super low cost of Cav, which is, I know one of the things that we all love because we want to have all the models. The details there, as we saw when we compared the dual cast and the Trenchworks resin model. We put some together. Pegs need a little bit of work, so when you go to make sure you dry fit your models together before you go to assemble them. Once you start getting dual cast stuff, check that they fit, trim them up, get them down to the right spot where you want. And I say that, but some of the pegs went in perfectly. Like this guy's arms just pressed right in. You could literally have played this guy with no glue, except for, of course, this joint right here. You would have had to put some glue there. So again, dual cast seems to me like a fantastic announcement for the Cav community. We're going to get the same great models. We're going to get them from an American company that we love. We're going to get them faster. We're going to get new model releases faster. There's just nothing. There's nothing that's wrong with this. I anticipate that we're going to find that John, this change is going to be so fundamental. It's going to allow John at Cav Boss Talon Games to think outside the box, and we might get the opportunity to see more products, different products, possibly even complete other product lines. This is that big a game changer, I think. So let's summarize let's talk a little bit real quickly about the Black Friday sale, because our time here is up. We're just a little bit over an hour. 20% off is the Black Friday sale. I believe I will just to be 1,000% certain, I will go over to it and pull it up. All right, there's the note about dual cast. Here we go. All right, so It says here they're going to have. We're going to have, starting at midnight on the 24th, we're having the very first Black Friday sale. Everything in your online store will be a flat 20% off for our U.S. customers, lasting until midnight, Monday the 30th. In addition, while supplies last, that's key, every order will receive one of our all-new dual cast models randomly selected for free. So that's going to be, you're either going to get a Cobra, fantastic little light mech, like Cav. You're going to get the Teseki 2, which will just like annihilate things that it points its weapons at, especially if you fly Nap of the Earth. Nap of the Earth is evil. Learn the rules. It's very powerful. Made in the USA, Tiger Wraith, 100%. That's the thing that I'm proud of. And then there's the Despot B. So you're going to get one of these models for free with your order. Let's make sure I understand the details. You got to make a purchase of $40. All right, so I guess when you purchase over $40, you'll get one. I think you'll agree this is a great thing. All right, so load up on calves. Now's the time, especially you, Smitty. You said you're going to buy stuff. You were going to buy stuff. This is the right time to do it. Free models. It's fantastic. You know, if you're I'm not going to say that because John will get mad at me. But yeah, just. Order 3 times and get all 3 of them. If you don't, we'll trade. We'll find a way to get you what you want. Let's talk about the schedule for Talon Games Twitch stream. So typically you find me here on Monday nights, 8:00 p.m. Central Standard Time, just hobbying, hanging out, talking with you guys, having a great time. That's a lot of models. Yes, Smitty, that is a lot of models. All right, Tuesday night, same at 6:00, I believe. John will be on doing his terrain Tuesdays. He's normally working on some kind of terrain piece. I'm not sure what his current project is. I think he finished up that dragon, dead dragon skeleton that he had on a hill. So I'm not sure where he's going next. Maybe back to that headquarters building, the MDF model that he was working on. And then Wednesdays, John and myself are on at 8 p.m. for an hour or so of just Cav talk. It's a chance for John to explain the rules to us in great detail because nobody knows them better than him. You can ask questions. You can get him to speculate about things that are coming up. If you have some confusion about how things work, John's there to give you the lowdown. I mean, you don't get that with I'm not going to name any companies, but you can imagine other miniature companies, and the chances that you can directly talk with their CEOs are small. I can think of at least one other, but John is one of the very few. So come on Wednesday nights, hang out, talk to John, tell him what you like, what you don't like, tell him, like what kind of rules you think he might need to fix, or how much you appreciate the things that are out there. All right. Then on Saturday, I think at 2 p.m. Central Standard, we're all Central Standard right now, much to Gunner's chagrin. Chris Lewis, one of the sculptors, one of the main sculptors for Cav, he's always on around 2 o'clock, goes for a couple of hours, works on almost always a Cav model. So if you want to see something that's up and coming that isn't even finished being designed, and to have an opportunity to even input. I mean, because Chris is literally sculpting this brand new model that's going to be a Cav model in front of our eyes. And if you chat with him and you have some fantastic idea, I think he will he'll incorporate it. I mean, Chris is an open-minded kind of guy. He likes doing stuff. He likes making Cavs, and if you have a genius idea, your idea can make it into Cav. Anyway, that's what I know. My name is James. I'll be on here next Monday night. Hopefully you'll come and join me, hang out with me. We can work on some models together. Thanks very much, all. Peace. Live long and prosper.